Hi everyone,
Hello.
welcome to Super Breakfast Friends Club, the show that we sometimes forget to record for a couple weeks.
Sometimes we are dying, inside and outside, and that gets in the way a little bit when there's blood and guts.
It sure does. Please consider donating to our Patreon to cover our medical expenses. Well, Mel's medical expenses. I live in the UK.
Oh, ouch. Right in the feelings.
Right in the nationality. Did this show have an opening sequence?
It didn't.
I don't know what I'm going to do for this. There's no opening for me to play. I guess let's just start talking.
I think you should play the opening theme song for Evangelion.
Okay, let's hope I don't get a copyright claim for this.
You definitely will.
Excited about this when I heard about it. Because I came across this show while I was doing random research about what video game shows are out there. Because we can't just cover all the well-known ones, we've got to find some obscure stuff too.
We gotta find the stinkers. That's what the people want.
And that's when I came across this one. And when I was doing some research into it, I found various forum threads and websites claiming it as the worst anime ever made.
That's a bold claim.
It is a bold claim. I don't know if I'd go as far as that, but it's pretty bad.
It's bad. But when I think of bad, I think of irredeemable, and this one was just boring.
It was just boring. Yeah, that's the problem with this one. It wasn't even... I mean, in places it was so bad that it was funny, but in other places it was just boring. Yeah.
Yeah, most of the places it was boring.
It's called Hametsu no Mars, which translates as Mars of Destruction. I thought that was some kind of weird mistranslation, but Mel has assured me that it is in fact correct.
That's about as much sense as we can make out of it.
Yeah, I was like, okay, so it must be supposed to be Destruction of Mars, right? Because that makes sense. But no, it's Mars of Destruction.
This whole time I was thinking that Mars was going to be a cute little anime girl, and she was just going to end up being extremely destructive, and I was very disappointed to find out that wasn't the case.
That is not the case, no. It was really difficult to find out any information about this game. There is almost nothing on the internet.
We're going to have to finish our Duolingo courses and search the Japanese internet.
There's a lot of misinformation about it on the internet.
Cool.
The simple English Wikipedia article on this game, which is the only Wikipedia article that exists. Regular Wikipedia doesn't have one at all. But the simple English Wikipedia article says that this game is based on the manga of the same name, and that's all it says. As far as I can,
whole article?
That's the entire article. As far as I can tell, there is no manga of the same name. So I don't believe it's based on one. I found another website that said that the game was based on the anime. That's also not correct. The game did come first.
How do we know?
Oh, I know. I've done some research.
Okay.
Any information that was out there on the English language internet, I have found. And also some information that was not.
Scoured the deep net. You found all the secret places they hide the Hametsu no Mars information from us.
I dug around in Japan's crevices. So it came out for the PS2 in 2005. And it is made by Idea Factory, who mostly make Japan-only visual novels, of which this is one. But they also own Compile Heart, a company I had heard of. I wasn't sure why I had heard of them, so I looked up, and they're the successor to Compile, And the reason I'd heard of Compile is because they're the studio that created Puyo Puyo before Sega bought the IP.
Oh.
So I knew Compile from the credits to Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. Here's an interesting thing. So I actually watched a playthrough of the game.
Yeah.
A lot of what we see in this anime is lifted directly from the game. The game has anime cutscenes, which are all included in this video.
Super boring anime cutscenes.
No, actually, funny thing, all of the best parts of this show are the parts that are lifted from the game.
So all the original content is pure stink.
All of the anytime there was some, because there's some good animation in this show, there's some decent action, and those are the moments that were lifted directly from the game.
Saying decent action is kind of disingenuous. There
Well,
was action.
there's a couple bits where there are some girls with guns shooting at aliens, and it's animated pretty well. And those are the anime cutscenes from the game.
Okay.
But okay, so all of the scenes from the first chapter of the game are included in this show. This show only covers the first chapter of the game. There are 5 more chapters. No, sorry, there are 4 more chapters.
You're telling me that this wasn't a big enough hit and we didn't get to see the pulse pounding conclusion
We
of
didn't get
Hametsu
to-
no Mars?
No, and I couldn't. The game is only available in Japanese, and I don't know Japanese well enough to understand what was happening. So I don't know how this story ends, but what we're seeing here is purely the prologue to a much bigger story.
I mean, there's certainly some meat hinted at. They didn't really sell the meat to me very well.
No. And I mean it's a romance VN.
Of course it is.
That's why most of the cast are girls with different hair colors.
You mean this cast of elite soldiers are 15-year-old looking girls?
Yeah, exactly. No, it was animated by, I want to say this is pronounced Wow World, is WAO World.
Wayo Wayo?
I guess so.
Wayo, wayo! I'll be in the basement!
There weren't many other projects that were fully produced by this studio, but they did do support animation on Bakugan, Bleach, Sonic X, which explains a lot, and they did some work on animated cutscenes for Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker and Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which I just finished playing.
You said Bakugan, and my brain immediately said Beyblade because we've been talking about Beyblade so often lately.
I don't know what Bakugan is. I don't know enough about Bakugan to make a reference.
Yeah.
The only
I've
reason
heard
that's the thing. I heard the name. There was a period in time when if you had the TV on during children's programming, you would hear the word Bakugan like 50 times every hour. And that's my entire experience with Bakugan.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've only heard it mentioned in like Cartoon Network ads, and then I never watched it.
Yeah. I've looked into it because I wondered if it was something that we should cover for this show. It's not. Although it's made by Sega, it's made by Sega Toys, not Sega, the video game company.
Well, there goes my one and only excuse to watch Bakugan.
If you really want to, you could just watch it.
That sounds like a lot of work.
For not enough pay.
Not like this show, which pays me so much money.
Hey, you're getting like, I know I haven't given any of it to you yet, but you're getting like $6 a month from this show right now. From my mother. And that's not nothing.
Oh, that sweet, wonderful woman.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Anyway, back to this mess. The show and the game were written by Shingo Kuwana, who is mostly known for other Idea Factory visual novels, mostly the Neptunia series.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we know all about those.
I've seen them literally everywhere. They're all over Steam. That's where I run into them all the dang time.
Oh, you weren't being sarcastic. I was.
No, I've seen that dang anime face when I close my eyes at night.
Oh, okay. Well, now you know that this was from the same creator.
Oh no, I don't
Same,
actually know anything about the series.
same writer. Well, hey, I'm pretty sure there's at least one Neptunia anime, so.
Oh no. There's like a jillion Neptunias now.
Are you looking at them?
Yes.
I don't think this guy wrote all of them, but he did write a decent amount of them. So this show was released on DVD on July 6th, 2005, less than 2 months after the game itself came out.
Oh no.
I hoped that the entire thing wasn't animated in those 2 months, but I also wouldn't be surprised based on the quality we're seeing here.
Yeah, there were a lot of scenes that didn't really move.
Yes, and the ones that did really move had already been animated for the game, so... So let's get right to where the show picks up, shall we?
I guess that's what we're here to do.
So we start with some shots of space over some operatic music in the distant future of 2010.
I love that part.
At the time, it was 5 years in the future. Now it's 22 years in the past. No, 12 years in the past. I can't
I
count.
feel like if you're gonna write about the future, even if it's the near future, just push it a little bit further out, you know?
Take whatever year you think is good enough and add 100 to it. Because this always happens. Metal Gear, when the first Metal Gear Solid came out, it was set in 2005, which was a decent future. That's now the distant past.
Yeah. It's inevitably gonna happen at some point, but like, give it a little bit of time before people make fun of it.
We are now almost as far removed from Metal Gear Solid 1 as Marty McFly was from the 50s. I think. Is that right? 50, 60, 70. No, it's not right. Never mind. We got another 10 years to go.
Cut that part. Don't let them know you can't do math.
They know. 95, 2005. Yeah, okay. That checks out.
I've got my great big full screen calculator to help me here.
I didn't record that part.
I know. Now no one will know.
So there's a ship. There's a ship returning to Earth from Mars, and it has some kind of cargo. That's about all the information we're given.
Yeah, we don't really see much about the cargo except it's there.
Yeah, I assume that's what the other 4 chapters of the game tell us, but the show just doesn't tell us at all. And then the ship explodes.
Yeah.
Like a wet fart. Right?
Can you really count a wet fart as an explosion, though? That's more like a clap. I cannot remember it. That was nearly a week ago, and my memories have been wiped clean since then.
It really is just like... and then it just silence. The explosion cuts off way too fast. I guess if you want to be really technical about it, that's what an explosion would sound like in space. It would sound like nothing. But having that follow up the loud sounds of re-entry that we had right before it was very anticlimactic.
And that opera lady singing.
Yeah, she just stopped too, huh?
Yeah, she was on the ship.
It was 2 astronauts and an opera lady went to Mars.
They didn't really question why they needed her there, but in the end they appreciated the morale she brought. She's like a bard.
We're told that several months after the incident, bizarre incidents start occurring in Tokyo. Specifically in Tokyo for some reason.
Maybe that's where it crashed? No, that's okay. We do know why.
Do we?
That's where they were keeping the Mars exploration vessel.
The one that exploded in space?
Yeah. I guess the pieces of it fell down or something, or enough of it was salvaged
I
because they
guess
were
so.
like keeping it there and investigating it.
That's right. So now we cut to, I guess, a park in the middle of Tokyo.
Yeah, I like first we're at a train station for no reason, and then we're at the park.
The train station isn't explained. I think it's just so that we can read the sign on the station and know that we're in Tokyo, but the subtitles also told us, so.
Yeah, the text that had just been on screen not 2 seconds ago.
Yeah. So there's three girls in a park with guns.
Yeah, anime girls who are wearing like some kind of armor, but their heads are completely unprotected so that we can see their beautiful anime hair.
Of course, that's the only way we can tell them apart.
Truly.
They're confronting a Mars monster in the park. I don't think we're told that they're Mars monsters, but it's pretty clear.
Yeah, they're just calling them ancients at this point.
That's right. Which also, like, why are they calling them that? Because it doesn't seem like they know anything about where they came from or why they're there. But they know enough to call them ancients.
The name just happened to be accurate.
By coincidence, yeah.
I wanted to call them gobbledygoos.
Gobbledygoos! That's my pitch.
They're gooping up the park. Go get them, girls.
I don't know where they hired me.
Well, back to paying it for gold.
Hops out the window. Didn't you? I don't know if you had any thoughts on the look of the ancients.
Not really, because it was just kind of boring.
I thought they looked like Kermit the Frog.
Kermit the Frog.
Yeah, like but black instead of green.
Let me pull them up on my phone real quick. I need to confirm or deny this. There does not appear to be enough imagery of Hametsu no Mars to give me what I'm looking for.
I am not. I would have been more surprised if you could find it, to be honest.
Oh, here's kind of one. I can see some Kermit the Frog.
They got like a big open mouth. They got the two funny eyes on the top.
Yeah. They're shooping the whoop. Oh, I can't believe that this exists, but I'm gonna send you the GIF.
Oh yeah, well we're gonna talk about this.
I'm just amazed that somebody made a GIF of it, is what I'm saying.
Not me, that's the first thing I heard about.
Really?
Yeah, when I heard about this show, it was the first thing that came up. So, I mean, we'll talk about it right now because this is where it happens.
Yeah.
So there are three girls confronting three ancients. And the ancients just start firing yellow beams from their mouths. And the rightmost girl's head just explodes.
There's a fountain of blood.
Yeah, but it's not like good blood. It's not animated blood. It looks like it was added in post.
Yeah.
In like a very old version of After Effects.
It's definitely not a clean animation. Her head is just there 1 second and gone the next.
Yeah, and the other two characters don't react. And also, like, her body doesn't go limp or anything. It just kind of rotates a little. It looks like someone clicked it in Photoshop and used the rotate tool a little bit on it.
It's just toppling.
Yeah, and then it cuts away before it falls in any meaningful fashion. So I think this was done in post.
What would it have been before that?
Nothing. I don't know. Maybe her head didn't explode. Because here's the thing, right? This doesn't happen in the game. This whole scene of them confronting the ancients is in the game, but this one shot isn't there.
Huh.
It goes straight from the ancients firing the beams to the girls running towards the ancients. But that third girl, just vanishes. She's not seen again. But after the girls start firing, it goes to text for like the visual novel portion of the game. So I'm assuming something happens to her in the text, which I couldn't read. But there's no animation in the game of her being killed. She just kind of vanishes.
Watching it over and over, trying to make sense of what I'm seeing.
It's so bad.
It's really bad.
But yeah,
Her head is photoshopped off.
there are other reasons that I think this might have been added in post as well. I think somebody was like, we need to like bump up the gore of this. Let's have that one girl's head explode instead of her just getting shot off camera or whatever.
Our audience is edgy and they demand blood.
Because nobody reacts. And also there's a later scene which we'll get to, which makes me think that this wasn't the original intent.
Oh, I wrote notes about that.
I'm sure you did. Me too. But yeah, anyway. So the other girl starts shooting like crazy. I love that Aoi, who is clearly our main girl, she misses every shot, no matter how close she is.
She's an elite soldier, remember that.
She's just firing her machine gun randomly and not a single one of her bullets hit. The other girl, Tomoe, she actually does get most of her shots. She does hit. We see her shooting down one of the ancients, but then the other two that she didn't get, Aoi completely misses. Let's talk about the actors for these two, first of all.
Get it out of the way.
I would like to underline at this point that neither of their names are said until much, much later in the episode.
Yeah, I was just referring to, I don't even know her name now, Hairbow Anime Girl.
That's Aoi Kurita.
Okay, I don't even have notes about the other one.
Aoi Kurita is played by Minori Chihara, who I think she's the most prolific of these actors. She's had the most career since this. This was her first real role. I think she'd done maybe one thing before this. But she's gone on to have important roles in Data Live, My Hero Academia. She played Sophia in Rune Factory 3. I don't know if you know that character.
I'd know her if I saw her. The name is just not doing anything for me.
And she's in a few of the Final Fantasy VII spin-offs as well, so she's had a pretty decent career since this.
A few of the Final Fantasy VII spin-offs. What a sentence.
The rest of the actors in this did not fare so well.
This was their starring role.
So we also got Blue Hair Girl here, who is Tomoe Nakahara. She is played by Erina Nakayama. Very similar name.
Yeah?
She's only had a few roles. Her career only spanned 4 years. And then she vanished from acting. I hope she's doing fine.
I like to think she got her law degree.
You say that...
Successful practice.
You say that every time. That's the exact career you always say whenever we have this conversation.
I don't know why. It's just that feels like the farthest divorce from acting.
Because isn't that the trajectory that one woman from Maniac Mansion had? I think so. I think she got a law degree.
Isn't that the trajectory of the kid who played Robin Williams' son in Hook? Like in real life, he's a lawyer.
Oh, really? Maybe.
Or is he like an accountant? It's something really dry, and I love that for him.
Like his dad was in Hook.
Yeah.
He really took that role to heart.
He was like, wow, he has so much money and the coolest brick phone.
He got to fly to London for Christmas. That's what I want.
He's an orphan. That's cool.
And he can fly, and he's Peter Pan, which I'm sure will also happen.
No, it can't happen until he defeats Thudbutt in combat.
Was that the plot of Hook? I don't remember.
No, but at the end of Hook, Thudbutt becomes the new Hook.
The new Pan.
Why did I say Hook?
That'd be more interesting.
I knew what I meant.
No, and then it turns out that Rufio didn't die, and Rufio becomes the new Hook.
I can't handle it. He's become dark and twisted because of his run-in with death.
Yeah, and because he's mad that he's no longer the leader of the Lost Boys.
If I can't be the leader of the Lost Boys, I'll be the leader of the pirates.
Gotta lead someone.
It's Never Neverland's God and Satan. Thudbutt and Rufio.
I'm forever haunted by the image of Thudbutt's face on the cheese.
Well, you know what'll exercise that image from your mind? The thought of Thudbutt's rolled up doll going down the bridge.
No, I love that one.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's so good.
Thudbutt was an obstacle in the Hook Mega Drive game.
Gotta hop the Thud Bomb.
I rented that game once and it stuck with me for the rest of my life.
Good.
Anyway, so what happens? Aoi's like on the floor and there's two ancients coming at her.
Whichever one is Hairbow Girl, she got elbowed in the face, and I really like that.
That's right. She missed all her shots and got elbowed in the face. But a shiny man appears.
Yeah, he's got a light stick.
Yeah, it's Takeru. I've written down here, he makes his sword swordy and does a fight.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
It seems like the head explodey beams have no effect on him.
Yeah, because he's got a magical mystery suit.
Because one of them walks right up to the back of his head and just fires a sustained beam right at it for like...
Blasts him at point blank range.
For like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And it doesn't do anything.
I guess that's just how they're telling us that this is the most coolest special suit ever.
I guess so. So he kills two of the ancients and then he passes out for some reason. Takeru Hinata is played by Nozomu Taiga, a name I thought I recognized but apparently didn't because this is the only credit he ever had. Now Takeru's in the hospital, where a doctor covers up the headless corpse and says, I'm afraid this one didn't make it. And everyone's saddened by this news that the headless corpse was dead.
You can't put her back together?
And this is another thing that makes me think that her head wasn't originally supposed to explode.
Yes, for sure.
Because why would they even bring her to the doctor?
Exactly. That part really stood out to me. It's like unless I missed it and her head didn't become a red mist, I don't think.
Yeah, it feels like if her friends couldn't tell that she was dead before they brought her back to the doctor, I question their use in this task force.
Well, clearly that wasn't one of their very defined specialties that they never tell us about.
No, clearly. By this point of the episode, we've heard Takeru's name like 50 times, and we've heard nobody else's name once.
So we know who this show is about.
But then Yamabuki shows up, the pink hair girl, and she's immediately named. Immediately we're told what her name is. She walks into the shot and Aoi says, Yamabuki. So we got her name. But no one else
By that
is.
point, like, with the way that they were giving us the names, I saw Yamabuki, I was like, I'm not even writing it down. I don't care who these girls are because they don't want me to care.
No. For a long time, Yamabuki is the only named female character.
Yes.
Until I think it's over halfway through the episode before they actually tell us what anyone else's name is.
Do they tell us all of the other names?
Nope, I had to find one out by digging.
That's what I thought.
But we have Yamabuki Ono. Also, we're not told any of their last names. I only know those from the internet.
Mm-hmm.
But she is played by Asuka Aizawa, who is only credited for this and as... I want to get this right. This is word for word what it said on IMDb. All female voices. in a TV show called Blame. And that's it. That's her entire acting history.
Well, that's because she's tied up doing all female voices.
But only
She's
in
doing
that
me
one
right
show.
now. No, I think it's just forever.
Oh, maybe you're right. At least in the Blame universe.
Which we're in, obviously. The Blame cinematic universe.
I want to know how many actors they had for Blame and whether it was a case of like they had 5 male actors and then they were like, okay, and you do the girls.
Girls all have the same voice. You'll do.
So now we get some kind of like past flashback of Takeru.
Oh my god, it's so bad.
He's being told by his father, I guess, that he's going to wear the Mars,
Yeah.
which I assume is his funny suit.
Yeah, that's the name of the super suit.
It sounds like he really doesn't want to wear it.
Because he says, I know what happened to the people who weren't capable of wearing the Mars, so...
Yeah, we don't, but he does.
But it's implied it's bad.
Yeah, but then his dad forces him to wear it. It's very dramatic. He's like screaming as he's being forced into the suit, I guess. Which,
guess
to
it's
me, makes it sound like once you're in the suit, you can never get out of it. Except that he's out of it in the hospital.
To be fair, later when they show us a scene of him getting put in the suit and they cinch his waist right up.
Like women haven't been doing that for centuries.
I know, but how miserable.
I know. I'm not saying that I think corsets are good, but that's basically all that is. If he's going to insist his girlfriend do it, then he has to do it too. He doesn't have a girlfriend. That's what the game's for.
Ray, you date all the girls.
You got to get him a girlfriend while fighting the aliens from Mars. That's a secondary objective.
Clearly, I've played visual novels.
So he wakes up to some classical music, which I looked up, and it's Gymnopédie number 1. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Okay, because I've heard that song a million times, but
Me
I couldn't
too.
place it.
I had to do some educating of myself for this, because this is all familiar classical music.
Mhm.
If you have ears and can hear things, you've heard all of these songs before. But I didn't know the names of any of them, so I had to look them up.
I don't know the names of any songs ever.
I don't think there's any unique music in this show. I think it's all just classical songs that they threw in.
Because they had to make this show on a $5 budget.
Yeah, it's like one step even further from Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. Because Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog used a lot of classical music, but they were at least like new interpretations of those classical songs.
Mm-hmm.
And this doesn't even do that much. It doesn't take Hall of the Mountain King and splice it with the Sonic the Hedgehog theme.
Yeah, they're really letting you know it's just royalty free.
It sure is, yeah.
This is where we find out that they're taking the recovered bits of the vessel to America.
Yeah, not for any reason that we know about. But they think there's a connection between them and the ancients. They don't know what it is, which again draws me to question why they're calling them the ancients, since they don't know what they are or where they came from. And then we get a little weird explainer about AST. AAST. Yeah. We're not told here what it stands for. We will be told in a minute, but it's the name of the organization they work for. We're told this by the blonde hair girl, whose name isn't mentioned in the show.
Oh, okay. She's the one.
But her name is Kyoko Kawagoe. She's played by Yukari Kawabuchi, who only has 3 credits, which are all visual novels. One of them's a Neptunia game.
Cool.
So she's probably just a woman that was working at the office. But in the game, she is one of the main love interest characters. She's the blonde one.
Oh.
Because, yeah, I think there are, I think there are 5 love interests, each with a different hair color.
That's how I
Aoi,
like to choose my love interest.
yeah. So far, we've met Aoi, which is the brown hair girl. Tomoe is the blue hair girl. Yamabuki is our pink hair girl. And Kyoko is our blonde haired girl. And we've still got the green hair girl to meet. She hasn't showed up yet.
She's the nerd one, right?
Yes, with glasses.
Mm-hmm.
I like it when they arrange the love interests by hair color, so that's the easiest way to tell which one's which in an
Yeah,
anime.
really easy to sort.
But then you're like, oh, God damn it, I like nerd, but I also like blonde.
I like nerd, but I'm way too far into Blonde's plot to make a nerd one work out correctly.
I'm going to have to play this game at least 3 times.
Ugh, I'm tired of defeating the ancients. I just want to date the girls.
You probably don't actually have to defeat any ancients in this game. They're just set dressing.
Yeah.
Takeru's in shock, I guess. He's sitting up on the roof of a building, like an angsty high school student.
Well, his 2 anime mommies watch off screen.
Yeah. And then there's just a sudden cut to our explainer video about Ast. It was very jarring.
Well, a real quick thing is that before the Ast cut in, our 2 mommies who are talking about him mentions that he was born to the Hinata family, but we don't know what that means yet.
Yeah, it's weird. He's clearly the token special boy. They mentioned that he's here straight out of high school, and that nobody knows why he's here, except that he's very special.
He's the most special boy.
And that's how we know he's the game's protagonist.
Right, in this harem anime.
Yeah. But, like, no attempt made to explain his presence. They're literally just like, no one knows. He's just special, and that's it.
He's a high school boy. He's a loser. He's surrounded by beautiful women. I don't know.
But yes, Ast. Apparently, so it's AAST, and it spells Anti-Unidentified Ancient Special Team.
It's the most convoluted name.
It's really stupid, and the funny thing about it is that it feels really hard, like it was trying to make an acronym, like SHIELD.
Yeah.
But it doesn't spell anything.
No.
And also, like, the first A stands for anti-unidentified, 2 words. So shouldn't it be Ast?
That's too hard for anyone to say.
Ast isn't that easy.
I don't understand why
I can't be asked to say that word.
I don't understand why the unidentified part is there at all.
No.
Why isn't it just the anti-ancient special team?
Well, because they haven't identified the ancients yet.
They call them ancients.
Well, they don't know that. They haven't
They've identified them. They've identified them as ancient.
But they keep saying they don't know what they are.
They don't know, like, their unique physiology, maybe. But they have a name.
We could go in this circle for a week.
I know.
This whole episode is about the fact that they don't know where they came from, but they already call them ancients, which explains exactly where they came. Like, when the twist comes at the end, I'm like, yeah. Well, why have you been calling them that the entire time if you didn't know this?
I thought we were all on the same page here.
Oh, anyway. So yes, here's another thing. Takeru's suit is called Mars, and it's apparently a special anti-ancient suit. So I assumed that meant that it was the cargo that they brought back from Mars.
Mm-hmm.
But it sounds like it's been passed down through his family.
Yeah.
And the ancients have only been around for a couple months. So why do they have an anti-ancient suit that's been passed down through the Hinata family?
I don't know.
Maybe people just age really quickly in this unit. Maybe he was born like 2 days ago.
You would think that people would see this science man with his fancy glowing suit that specifically kills these monsters that have only just come to Earth and be like, that's a little bit of a coincidence there, Hinata, don't you think?
Your father wore this suit, and your grandfather wore this suit, and your great-great-grandfather wore this suit, and finally you can actually do something with it. The rest of us all just kind of stood around.
When your grandparents came here from the motherland, space, they brought this suit.
I'm assuming that there's more backstory to this suit that the game explains, but I would love to play. If there's I had a look and I couldn't find any evidence of there being a translation patch for this game. If anybody who makes such things is listening to this, please, I want to play this game, but I don't know enough Japanese to do it.
I'm telling you, we're going to have to finish our Duolingo courses.
Yeah, this is going to be my motivation to actually become fluent, isn't it? Because I want to play Hametsu no Mars.
Yeah, and this would be a challenge because it's got a lot of jargony words.
It might be just like loaded up with loan words, though.
I don't know. I didn't hear a lot of them when I was trying to make sense of this dang mess.
That's true. I didn't hear many either. All right. Well, anyway. They have a police escort to get the fragments of the Mars ship to America by road, I guess.
Yeah, I was assuming that they're taking it to like a plane or something, but we never see that part.
No. In fact, I'm kind of confused about it in general because later on it seems like they have already arrived in America.
Yep.
Despite the fact that we never see the characters or this truck get off of this road. But anyway, they have the world's quietest police escort. There's absolutely no cars on the street except them. I guess it's late at night because by the end of the scene, the sun is coming up.
Oh yeah, I guess. That would make sense.
Or is this... Wait, maybe the sun's not coming up. Maybe they're just illuminated by all the fires that got started.
Yeah, it might have just been explosions. Who knows? I confuse the sun and explosions on the reg.
Yeah, every time you walk outside, you look up and you... Oh, did something explode? And I'm like, no, Mel. Sun, remember? It's just the sun. It's fine.
But what if it's not? You don't know. It could be exploding up there.
I mean, I guess it is.
Constantly exploding.
So there's ancients standing up on a building looking down.
Yeah, there's a fancy one with a fancy helmet.
Yeah. This is where Aoi is finally named for the first time.
Yeah.
Halfway through the episode. You know, I missed the fact that during the Asked Explainer video, they mentioned that this team is made up of experts from different police forces.
Yes.
Who all happen to be teenage anime girls with cute rainbow hair colors.
Yes.
And we're not shown what any of them is good at, if anything.
That pissed me off so bad because there's a scene going on while this voiceover is happening where the girls are either using melee weapons or just like at the gun range firing a gun, but it doesn't tell us who does what.
Well, we know that Aoi is not good with guns.
Very true.
But that's also all we see her do, so...
In the beginning scene, yeah, they were later shown that they have these beam swords. Why didn't they use them in the first scene?
I forgot.
Takeru shows up and he's got his beam sword, but the girls are like, oh no, I guess I left it at home.
So the girls are told that they should stop chatting and keep an eye out for anything suspicious. And suddenly, in that moment, they notice something very suspicious. That the police car in front of them explodes. And the person who tells them to stop chatting is our green hair girl, Shizuka Isono. Played by Kaori Nezuka, who, at the time this was made, was the most accomplished actor of this cast.
And then this tanked her career.
No, she's still going. But she played She played Lady Subaru in Dot Hack, who you'll see eventually. She had already done that before this. She also went on to be in Full Metal Alchemist and One Piece. And she plays Toru Hagakure, the invisible girl in My Hero Academia. So
Those are some big names.
They are pretty respectable roles. So she future crucifies Takeru.
Future crucifies Takeru.
Yeah. This was such a
heavy-handed metaphor.
Yeah, and Japan's good for that. Whenever they want to do a Jesus metaphor, they go all in.
There's a cross.
Yes,
There's
so
a spear of Longinus.
he has to get into his suit, which involves him spreading his arms and standing up against a giant crucifix-shaped machine, which then sucks him in against it and painfully applies the suit for some reason.
Yeah. But I do like that it covered that, because the suit has an unrealistically thin waist, and they show us that it's painful and it sucks.
Yeah. He screams while he's doing it.
His ribs are broken in several places.
And then he just pops out the roof of the truck. There's a mechanism for that. Not only... It seems like the only thing they're carrying in that truck is the suit machine. Which I don't think is the fragments of the ship. Because the suit was passed down from his family.
A very normal Earth suit!
So I don't know.
I don't think they do either.
No. Meanwhile, the ancients are tearing apart a defenseless policeman.
Yeah, they kill one dude with one big, meaty, wet punch.
It was really funny to me that there was nothing futuristic about the cops, and none of the cops make any attempt to fight back or run away. They just stand there waiting for their death. They look afraid, but they don't try to run. They don't try to fight in any way. They just look scared and stand there as they get viscerally torn apart.
You know, I completely forgot that they were even cops because of how little they tried to fight the monsters.
Yeah, they didn't have weapons. They didn't even raise their fists.
Two men just got their heads lasered right off.
Their necks get shot out.
Yeah.
And then their heads just drop. It was pretty intense. I think that the deaths of these cops are where all the animation budget went.
Yes,
because
for sure.
They were lovingly rendered being torn to shreds. Yamabuki takes some pot shots as the cops' necks get shot out. And then the big guy comes out. I can't tell you who plays the big guy because he wasn't credited.
He wasn't credited as Big McLarge Huge.
No, I don't know. He definitely has the impression of being like the main villain of the game or something, but I get the impression that he just dies here and doesn't appear again. So,
but he didn't die there, right?
No, he does.
No, he did. That's right.
He does a fake death and then he does a real death.
That's right.
But I don't think he's in the other 4 chapters of the game. I think he's
done.
Yeah.
He's done his part.
He may be the main villain of the anime, but I don't think he's the main villain of the game.
And that's just because the anime ended after 30 seconds.
I love that they made Takeru's voice muffled when he's in the suit. That really made me laugh.
They got this big fancy space weaponry, but they can't do anything to project his voice.
Oh, this is the point where I actually took in the fact that Aoi is just a terrible shot, because we see all the other girls shoot an ancient at least once, and every single shot she takes misses. The one shot she takes that hits is when she literally runs up and presses the nose of her gun against the guy.
If she still missed, I would lose my marbles.
The gun just explodes. The gun is like, I can't possibly miss at this range.
It just comes out with that little flag that says bang on it.
Oh, speaking of Looney Tunes-esque stuff, as Takeru fights the big guy, it plays the Barber of Seville, which I mostly know from that one Bugs Bunny cartoon.
Yeah.
What a strange choice for a fight song.
I think they were just cycling through classical music. Like, do we have to pay for this one? No, in it goes.
Oh, for sure, but there's better fight music in the classical library, you know?
Yeah, like Flight of the Bumblebee.
Not Barber of Seville. The big guy wants to get to the truck. He grabs Tomoe, who is finally named at this point.
Oh yeah, this is the part where he spends a significant amount of time just choking women.
Yeah, someone had a fetish.
I thought you were gonna say someone had to do it.
No, of course not. Yeah, he just kind of chokes women for a while and nobody seems too bothered about it.
The weird thing about it is that he's obviously intending to kill these women, but instead of just quickly doing it, he holds them there for a while and lets everybody else set up to kill him.
Yes, he has Tomoe, he grabs Tomoe by the leg, and this is where I noticed the music awkwardly cut to a quieter part. Like, it's an awkward cut, you can hear it.
You can hear the needle screeching.
Basically. And then he grabs Yamabuki by the neck, which Takeru just kind of sits and watches.
Yeah, he's not doing a whole lot right now.
No, he's just watching these women that he has to choose a lover from. Maybe he's mulling his choices over at this point. He's like, I don't know. Pink hair, blue hair, I don't know.
What color hair would our children have?
But this is the point where green hair shows up and is finally named as Shizuka. And Flight of the Valkyries abruptly starts playing. Again, like weirdly chopped. So that you can hear, again, like you said, you can hear the needle scratch on it, basically.
Takeru, Takeru.
静か。
まだ試作品だけど、これを使うしかない。
プラズマライフル。でも使い方が。
元はパルススーツにシンクロするようにできてるわ。エネルギーの再充填に時間がかかるから、一発で命中させて。構造もあり得るから、周囲に人がいない状態で。
できるかどうかわからない。
Everything about this was weirdly chopped. The scenes were really hacked together to take the action out.
Yeah. She gives him a plasma rifle, and they talk like it's some new invention that they just got, some like untested weaponry. But just moments ago, Yamabuki said that her gun was a plasma rifle, so...
Yeah, they're plasma weapons, but this is a very special plasma rifle because it syncs up with the Mars suit. So this whole part confused me, and so I'm like, wait. So both of these things are useless independent of each other. I don't get it.
No, the Mars suit works on its own, somewhat.
It does, but it doesn't because Takeru has been out of the fight for 10 minutes.
Oh, that's true.
He got hit one time and he's down and he can't get back up.
Yeah, and that pair of mooks knocked him out earlier.
Yeah.
Good point.
Especially because we're told he only gets one shot because it takes so long to recharge.
And this is also the part where Aoi does the running right up and pressing her gun against the big guy. Probably the only way she could realistically hit him with her aim. And that causes him to drop Yamabuki, but doesn't seem to actually hurt him in any way. So he just picks up Aoi instead, and he's like, "All right,
Yep.
I'll choke you instead."
You want to get choked too? All right, line up.
And then Takeru comes. He's got his big old gun. He's got his giant compensation weapon.
The compensator.
And he waits until Aoi goes limp, presumably to get a better shot.
Yes, to get a better shot.
And then he fires, and it goes right through the big guy and the truck, and the big guy collapses. Meanwhile, in America, some men are speaking in Japanese.
It's so sunny and beautiful in America.
And yeah, they're talking as though they have the fragments in America that were supposedly in the truck.
They're also speaking very casually about everyone dying in Tokyo.
I don't know if this is supposed to be implying that the truck was a decoy or if it just doesn't make any sense. And I could equally believe either.
I cannot equally believe either. I don't believe that first one at all. I think it was just just doo-doo.
It would be fine if this was the last scene, but after this we go back to the road with the trucks, where clearly no progress has been made.
I don't know if those scenes were supposed to be simultaneous or if it was just really bad exposition stitching
Yes,
it.
I wonder if this scene with the scientists is actually from a later chapter, because it doesn't play out here in the game, at least. So if this scene exists in the game at all, it has to be from a later chapter.
Mm-hmm.
But a scientist explains that there was a civilization on Mars long ago, and that DNA recovered showed they were Homo sapiens, and that humanity came from Mars? I'm a little bit confused by it.
Yeah, he said it in a really roundabout way to give some kind of plausible deniability about it, but
Yeah. I think it's supposed to be saying that the humans that live on Earth now were the original inhabitants of Mars, not Earth.
yeah.
But it is worded in a very vague way to where you're left kind of unsure what he was saying.
Yeah. Like it's implied that humanity and the ancients have common ancestors.
It's implied that they have common ancestors, but it's also, I don't know, it doesn't make any sense to me. Maybe if I played the whole game it would.
Yeah, because when we get more of that exposition from the monster itself, it's speaking in tongues because it's not supposed to tell us everything about the story yet, since it's Act 1, so it makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't think this scientist part, if they just left that out, I feel like it would be more interesting and make more sense. If anything, this scientist conversation feels like a spoiler for the reveal that we're about to get when we go back to Tokyo. But anyway, back in Tokyo, everyone's getting patched up, and they're examining the big guy when the big guy gets back up and attacks Takeru. And it is sudden.
Yes, it is.
Like, I cannot explain. Take what you think of as a creature suddenly waking up and attacking someone, and then speed that up by like 20, maybe. And you have the suddenness of this attack. But the big guy explains that they're the real Earthlings, released via the virus?
I could not follow this part at all, and I did not care enough to rewind and figure it out.
No, I wrote this down, but even looking at it now, I'm confused about it. He says that the ancients are the real Earthlings, that they were released by a virus, and that they wiped out the Martians?
Wait, you're saying that the ancients wiped out the Martians?
That's what he says.
I have the quote, and it implies that the virus was what wiped out the Martians.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Wait, read the quote to me.
We are the Earthlings, the real Earthlings, released by the virus that wiped out the Martians.
Oh, okay. Then what is he talking about?
I don't know!
Because I thought the whole thing was implying that the humans are the Martians. And they clearly haven't been wiped out.
Yeah.
So who are the Martians?
Who are the Earthlings?
Well, the ancients are the Earthlings.
But they came from Mars.
No, I think they didn't.
What, they've just been here the whole time, like lurking in the sewers?
I think they were released by the virus.
What virus?
I don't know.
Why did it release them?
Maybe they were sealed away. So, wait. Here we go. So, the ancients were sealed away on Earth by the Martians, and then a virus wiped out the Martians, and then that virus came back on the fragments of the cargo from the exploded ship, and somehow released the Martian, the Earthlings, the ancients.
That actually makes a lick of sense.
It's the only thing that does, I think. But it's missing a lot of exposition that we will not be getting in this show.
No.
Or ever, unless someone wants to do a translation patch for the game, or I want to learn fluent Japanese.
Yeah, that'll only take a couple weeks, right?
One of those things might happen, realistically. At this point, I feel like they could have just had a conversation. Maybe from the very beginning they could have had a conversation. But Aoi and Tomoe explode his entire torso, and he lets out an amazing scream, which I will play here.
Yes, please.
It was a scream and a half.
It is a little bit weird that he and his posse storm up and murder everybody, but then he just kind of has a little chat with them.
Yeah. But you know, I don't know.
Video games.
Moonlight Sonata plays over this, by the way.
俺たちがこの星を侵略した。地球を侵略。
The end? Well, no, it's not the end. There's 4 more chapters, but it's the end for us.
The end. Yeah, I don't want to come back to this one.
We can't. They didn't make any more.
No more episodes?
No more episodes.
Thank God.
Oh, did you not know?
No, I thought when you said that there was only the first part, I thought that meant like a 13 episode arc or something.
No. This is the only episode they made. The game has another 4 chapters to explain more of the story, but they only made 1 episode of it into an anime.
Oh my God! And this is what we get.
And this is what we get. Yeah, I'm sorry. I guess I usually open by telling you how many seasons and episodes there were, but I didn't this time because this is it.
I feel like that information is just as disappointing as this entire episode was.
What's more disappointing? The episode itself or the fact that this is all it is?
The fact that this is all it is.
Yeah, you're more disappointed that there's no more.
Like, if there was a little bit more, maybe at least one of these questions could be answered, and it would justify the boring garbage my eyeballs just watched.
Well, I'm assuming these questions are all answered in the game that we can't play.
But, like, what's the point of making the dang show if it doesn't make a dang sense?
I assume... I guess the whole point of this was just to try and sell the game. I can't imagine that it worked.
No!
I mean, the fact that this single episode anime is more well known than the game it's based on.
That is pretty sad.
Yeah, I assume the game is better, but I don't know.
But now that you've said that, it does make sense why this is considered one of the worst anime.
Yeah, because it just doesn't resolve anything.
No.
Yeah.
I'm left with nothing but questions and despair.
This isn't even good as an introduction because none of the characters were introduced.
We didn't even get the name of one of them.
But that's it. That's all there is. Yeah, but the scientists, by the way, in America, they weren't credited either. So I don't know who played them. That's the end. That's all there is. There's no legacy. They didn't
I
make any
think the
sequels.
legacy is just that it cast a dark shadow across humanity.
Yeah, I guess its legacy is its infamy as one of the worst anime ever made.
I mean, we watched it because we heard that.
That's true. There's things to love here. You know, if you're a fan of bad media, it's not. I don't think it's bad enough, in my opinion.
Agreed.
But it has its moments. A truncated version of this would be fun to watch, I think.
Maybe.
Just find a best scenes compilation or something.
Yeah, like a Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged.
Oh, I wonder if anyone's made an abridged of this. There is a fan dub. Because it never got a real dub, but I did come across a fan dub. I just watched the beginning of it. It seemed like they were going for an accurate translation because I was kind of expecting what's it called, Ghost Stories style translation.
Yeah.
But no, it seemed like they actually did take it seriously and tried to accurately translate and dub it. It definitely had a very homemade feel to it.
I don't know if I appreciate that for them just trying real hard, or if I'm mad that they didn't ham it up.
Yeah, me neither. Who can say? It was accurately dubbed enough that I didn't feel the need to watch all of it. Which, you know, I guess good for people who don't like subtitled versions of things. I know Joe doesn't really like a subbed version of something because of his dyslexia.
Yeah.
But I prefer to watch things, even if there is a good dub, I generally prefer to watch it in its original language, whatever language that is. Like, not just when it comes to Japanese stuff, but like if I'm watching an Asterix thing, I'd rather watch it in French.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us, everyone. This may be our shortest episode yet.
Based on the shortest anime ever.
That's this isn't the shortest show we've watched. It was just the least eventful.
It was the shortest season we've watched.
That's true. Yeah, we haven't watched anything else yet that only had one episode.
Not yet, but I know there's some on the list.
Oh, there are some coming, yeah, for sure. We got a
Some
few
real
things.
stinkers.
I can't wait for one of them, at least. One of them I watched before, so I already know how horrible it is.
Which one?
Bubsy.
Oh.
If you would like to kick money in our general direction, you can find us at patreon.com/superbreakfastfriendsclub, along with lots of exclusive bonus content, which is mostly just cut things from the episodes. At some point we're going to do a full episode just for the Patreon, but we haven't done it yet.
It hasn't been an ideal couple of months for us to get additional content out.
No, I have still been putting outtakes up there, though. We've got plenty of those.
I mean, we're barely scraping through on our regular scheduled content.
You can also, if you would like to do a non-recurring payment to us, you can find us on coffee.com/superbreakfastfriendsclub. You can find us on Twitter at sbreakfastfc. Is there anything else?
Ya Twitch.
I stream on Twitch at SkullPirateMike. Sometimes.
On Wednesdays, it's related to the thing we talked about.
I don't know if I'm going to guarantee that anymore, but I intend to do it most of the time.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to do it for this show.
Yeah, I didn't do it for Frogger either, because I was like, that's going to be a 5-minute stream.
A boring 5-minute stream.
I can't squeeze an hour out of Frogger. Is that all the things?
That's most of the things.
Bye! Hour and a half we got out of this.
That's impressive.
I'm not impressed by us or this show.